Hi, I'm Roy Moore with the Scout Patch Auction. I'm at the Dallas Trade-o-ree here January 23rd, 2010. And I'm with Kelly Williams, president of Krellman Company, who had the Blue Ribbon First Place Prize for display at the Trade-o-ree. Kelly, thanks for sharing. Thanks for bringing this display. Tell me about it. What do we have here?
We have early military influences of scouting. So we first talk about Frederick Burnham, who's an American who was in Arizona and decided to go to Africa, and he met Baden-Powell during the Mafeking campaign. Burnham was a scout in the British military, and he taught Baden-Powell about how to find the Apache way of finding water in the desert, how to evade the enemy, how to use a map and compass in enemy territory without a map and compass.
Really?
You know, all sorts of things, how to track an animal, how to use spoor, things like that. So he's the American influence on Baden-Powell to start a scouting.
That's him right here?
That's him right here. There's a book that's usually on eBay called Burnham. That's about $40 that you can actually get.
It goes about his history as an individual.
Yes.
Okay,
and then,
I didn't know that.
And then we also talk about the Siege of Mafeking, the Aids to Scouting book, the 5th Dragoon Guards.
Does this then come out after his experiences with Burnham?
Yes, it did, because the Matabele was 1896, Matabele campaign, and Boer War, the siege started in 1899.
Okay.
And this was snuck out, the final copies were snuck out right before the siege started.
Okay, huh. Then what kind of, you've got a variety of memorabilia about Baden-Powell on here and the campaign. Tell me about some of the things we're looking at.
This is the currency that the British made because they ran out of British currency, so they made their own. So you have a 1 shilling, a 2 shilling, 3 shilling, 10 shilling, and then the £1 note. The hardest is the £1 note. This was actually put together by Major Godley, who was second in command at Mafeking under Baden-Powell. And the second hardest is the 3 shilling note. They also made stamps. So here are the stamps. That they have Baden-Powell on 2 of them, and they have Sergeant Major Goodyear, who was the head of the Cadet Corps. And they made all these. They didn't have a good likeness of Queen Victoria, so they didn't put her on. That's what they told her when they came back.
Yeah, that was actually pretty notorious to have a British Commonwealth stamp without the sovereign.
Queen Victoria.
The Queen.
Yes. We also have some pictures here. We have Baden-Powell over here. Now this is Lieutenant Moncrief, and he's important because we have his medals down here. Lieutenant Moncrief's medals. He was in the Matabele campaign, and he has a Queen South Africa medal with a Defense of Mafeking. Here's his picture. Here's the officers. Here's Lieutenant Moncrief. Here's Baden-Powell. Then we also over here we have Corporal Honor Brevet Captain Monroe, who was with the Southern Rhodesia Volunteers, and he was one of the 3,000 soldiers that relieved Mafeking, so he has relief of Mafeking. So over time, I've also picked up, there were 2 other besieged cities, Ladysmith and Kimberley, and so here's the Defense of Ladysmith medal with the bar and a relief of Kimberley. Kimberley was where all Cecil Rhodes diamond mines were.
Okay, yes.
Okay. And remember Cecil Rhodes of the Rhodes Scholarship,
right.
He owned most of South Africa and the gold from the Rand and the diamonds from Kimberley. And Mafeking was important because it was at the end of the rail lines.
Okay.
Okay. And then after that, after the Mafeking was relieved, they put Baden-Powell in charge of the South African Constabulary. So these are some of the South African hat pins, constabulary hat pins. And from this, in scouting, we got Be Prepared because his soldiers decided to use a slogan with the initials BP for Baden-Powell. So they used Be Prepared. We got the uniform. It was khaki dress, a hat. And so we got all of those from South African Constabulary. Baden-Powell also chose one leader in charge of 8 soldiers, and that's when we got the patrol method. So all of that came from the South African Constabulary. So we got all sorts of stuff from from South African war type efforts.
And these sets of experiences. Now, on a valuation set, and this type of Baden-Powell memorabilia is actively collected in the scouting community, though again, we're now talking 110 years, 111 years for some of this memorabilia. I do know that on these Victoria medals, a defensive Mafeking bar is much, much rarer.
300.
Okay.
300 of those. I mean, no, 1,000. There were 1,000 bars of those, 3,000
Of the relief of Mafeking.
So a defense is very much harder, and then it's worth a lot more if it's one of the officers, the 15 major officers.
Again, only 15 available. And so that scope of the memorabilia is actively collected, less so in the Boy Scout side, but in the militaria side, even though it is about our founder for the movement as it goes. What about, you mentioned a little bit on the rarity of the notes, siege notes and stuff.
Yeah, the 1 pound note's about $1,000. The 3 shillings probably $750. The others you can probably get anywhere from $150 to $250 range.
Now, a lot of collectors in scouting memorabilia do have, because of Baden-Powell's likeness on the Mafeking stamps.